Warning. The language used on The Real Rush may be offensive to some viewers. Don't say I didn't fucking warn you.
To quote the great Dennis Miller, I don't want to go off on a rant here, but let me just tell you why Black Friday is some bullshit. Alright? First off, Black Friday come around and all of a sudden everybody thinking they Russian. And I don't mean Russian as in like vodka Russian. Russian as in like they Russian from space to space. But nobody knows where the fuck they're going. And nobody knows how to fucking park. And there be some dirty shit going on too. There was this one time I was over at the mall and I witnessed this dude chop off another dude's hands over a parking spot. Over a fucking parking spot. What kind of gangsta ass shit is that? Nobody fucking chops off people's hands anymore like it's the fucking Wild West. Acting all elegant and shit. You talk about acting all elegant and shit, be like, I gotta get out to make the deals. I gotta get out to make all the sales. Motherfucker, you still owe me money. So how the fuck you gonna be going on to the mall talking about I gotta make all the deals and shit like that? Motherfucker want me to take him to Georgetown South. Georgetown South? Georgetown South, motherfucker? I wouldn't go there in the middle of the fucking day, let alone at night. Motherfucker wanted me to take him to Georgetown South. Nigga, that's what a GPS is. Motherfuckers gotta have their way all the time. I delivered the fucking diary every day without fail, and then they wanna act like nothing fucking happened. You fucking hypocrites. The fuck is the matter with you? Motherfuckers wanna be walking around acting all high class and high and mighty and shit like, look at us. We're gonna go to wine country after we finish shopping today. Fine. Go the fuck out to wine country and don't fucking come back. We don't fucking want you here. Do you hear me? It's just madness. It's just fucking madness everywhere. And when it's all said and done, your insurance has dropped you and there's cocaine residue all over your wife's lips. And you didn't fucking put it there. But hey, that's just my 2 cents. Happy holidays, y'all. Bang your head to the opening riff! So I don't quite remember Dennis Miller getting quite that amped on his rants, but hey, Mr. Miller, I'm doing you proud, and we gonna take them shits up a couple notches for you. Thank you for your influence. What's happening, y'all? It's your boy J-Dub and welcome to episode 61 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Thanksgiving's over and all said and done with, baby. And today, as we film this, is Black Friday. So I guess we go ahead and say happy belated Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope everybody had a good turkey day, had good times with your loved ones, with your family and everything. And as far as today being Black Friday, maybe some of what I spoke in the opening monologue was true. Maybe some of it was bullshit. But all in all, just, be cool out there. Don't be a fucking douchebag out there on Black Friday today. But all in all, as a matter of fact, when you watch this, didn't Black Friday get extended to Black December or some shit like that? So when you go to see this, just be cool with your shoppings and all that. Happy holidays, y'all. Being 'tis the season, but be kind to your fellow man and all type of shit like that. Yes, be kind to your fellow man and shit like that. But yes, happy holidays, y'all. And one thing that I did want to bring up that I failed to mention last week, I dropped a bombshell on that ass right here, right now. Since it's a week removed, and this isn't necessarily a spoiler, okay? This is just something that I observed about the movie that I want to bring up. And since, like I said, it's been out for a week, there's been plenty of people that have had time to see Frozen 2 by this point. And I just want to throw this question out into the Rushiverse. I like that. The real Rushiverse. I want to throw this question out there to y'all who have seen Frozen 2. The question is it just me? Or did Frozen 2, for lack of a better term, rip off a few, pun totally intended, elements from The Fifth Element? And I'm gonna leave it at that. Because if I go any further, that will actually start going into the storyline itself. But once again, if you've seen Frozen 2 and you've seen The Fifth Element, you should have been able to make that connection as well. Holla at your boy. And if you haven't made that connection, then I just blew your fucking mind, son. Didn't I? Didn't I blow your mind this time? Didn't I? Oh, baby. So yeah, holla at your boy. I want to know if it's just me, a little woo-hoo, or if anybody else has noticed this connection as well. Frozen 2, Fifth Element. Make the connect, holla at your boy. Now, as far as this week's ticket goes, for the Real Rush, episode 51, or excuse me, episode 61. Episode 51 was 10 episodes ago. As far as this episode's ticket goes, there should be 3 movies on the ticket, because there were 3 new releases this week. But as we kick off the brass tacks for episode 61, I want to remind y'all that if you came here looking for the review for Knives Out, it did drop this week. And technically you are in the right place. But unfortunately, holistically you are in the wrong place. Because your boy not only already saw it and already reviewed it, but we reviewed that shit for y'all last week. So if you are looking for the review for Knives Out, no need for me to apologize, because we do have it for you. You just got to go to episode 60 last week if you're looking for the review for Knives Out. So that being said, that means I got two brand new release movies, you betcha, that I got reviewed for you this week, y'all. Let's go ahead and get on down to the brass tacks of these movies here. And I want to go ahead and kick things off here with, our Tuesday night ticket. We had a special Tuesday night premiere this week, being a holiday week, and it dropping on a Tuesday night, being a holiday week in this area. Now, apparently it dropped in some limited areas last Friday, which means last Thursday, but it seems, we a little bit outside DC area, we weren't quite, in tune to that. But as of this past Tuesday, we took a little holiday trip, I guess you could say. Well, that's as far as I'm going distance-wise, my whole vacation. So from Prince William City to Tyson's Corner, that's my distance. So we made our first trip out to AMC Tyson's Corner. First time since we had a doubleheader, season 1, where we saw The Post and All the Money in the World. And that was actually our 50th Thursday in a row going to the box office. And I'm going to get to why that's significant here in a second. But the movie that we saw this past Tuesday, called Dark Waters. And this is a new film that comes from director Todd Haynes, who brought us Wonderstruck and Carol from a couple years ago. And this actually tells the tale, this is based on the true story of Mr. Rob Billitt, who is an attorney out in Cincinnati. And he and his firm, I should say, represent that of the industrial chemical companies. But the tables kind of get turned, I guess you could say, when, we've been hearing about this stuff for years, folks. So what I'm about to lay down here for you, and what, is laid down in this movie, isn't exactly news here. But, the runoff from the chemical companies and stuff seem to be poisoning the waters of the outlying areas, causing farm animals to be killed off, and could potentially be poisoning its citizens. And this gets brought up to the attorney, played by Mr. Mark Ruffalo. What's up, dog? He plays Rob Billitt in this movie. This gets brought to him. So now he's been, he's been defending the chemical companies all these years. Now he's got to go to bat for somebody who needs defense against the chemical companies. Like I said, all based on a true story. Like I do with any historical, somewhat, based on film or true to life film, anything along those lines, I recommend that you do not go looking at the actual story behind it. Even though, actually, no, I'm not gonna go there on that, because I'm not too privy on 100% accuracies of the true story itself. So I don't want to say whether or not this is true, 100% true to life. How exactly baseline is Dark Waters to its true story. So it is up to Rob Billitt to represent the people of this town and go to bat against DuPont, one of the most famous chemical companies, one of the most famous companies in Americana history, that culture. So, will he be able to successfully defend and stand up for all these people who could, like I said, be potentially be poisoned and shit, or is the big chemical company going to use its, brass ball power to keep on doing with the wrongdoings and, wipe their hands of the whole thing as if they were never at fault? Right? Conspiracies, man. Seem to be a lot of that shit going on these days. So this movie has Mark Ruffalo, you have Anne Hathaway, you have Tim Robbins, you have Bill Camp, you have Bill Pullman showing up in it. Overall, excuse me, I thought it was a fairly decent movie. Not knock it out of the park as far as like awards or anything as far as that go. I wouldn't put it quite in that spectrum, but it is a pretty decent thriller. I found it, pretty intriguing, given the fact that the times that we do live in, you never really know who is telling the truth about certain things or whatnot, and we do live in the age of conspiracies. So the message of the movie I thought was, pretty straightforward, outright. I like the fact that it being a somewhat of a legal mystery at points. It didn't have, like scrambling, like to find certain bits of information. One thing that I did like, one major thing that I liked about this movie is that the fact that when you do go into like legal dramas, whether they're based on a true story or not, you can kind of get lost in the legal mumbo jumbo. We'll put it as mumbo jumbo. But this movie did a pretty decent job of, laying everything out to where it's not overly complicated, and you could watch the movie and not, have to pick up on every certain thing to, get what's going on in the storyline. So, all in all, fairly decent thriller. I would definitely say go ahead and check it out where you can find it. This is different from Todd Haynes' last effort, Wonderstruck, but same as with his last effort, Wonderstruck, one of the things that I found myself liking about Dark Waters is the technical aspects of the film itself. The film grain that they add to the film itself. I'm not sure exactly how they filmed it, but it's very symbolic. See it as in like we're talking about a story that's represented from 1998 all the way up until pretty much now. So it covered kind of like that old school late 90s aesthetic, I guess you could say. And Wonderstruck had the same thing as well. So I enjoyed Dark Waters. Same as with most of the based on true to life stories that we've reviewed on the Real Rush thus far. If you don't know the story behind this is one that I do think needs to be told, needs to be heard, along with any other type of conspiracy stories that are out there these days. Even if it isn't, 100% accurate, it didn't seem like it took too many liberties with the story itself. So, yes, Dark Waters. Check it out where you can find it. I went all the way out to Tyson's for it, and this is my first time to an AMC since, what was it? The advanced screening of Bumblebee last year at Potomac Mills. Haven't been to an AMC in almost a year. Now, either they really missed me, or I had a shit ton of AMC stubs, rewards, points locked up for this one, because to see this movie, Dark Waters, this past Tuesday, and this was not one of their special nights, like $5 movie night or nothing, I saw this movie for $1. $1, and that dollar was for the tax. So, booyah. So, yeah, definitely meet my expectations. Mark Ruffalo, you can't go wrong with Mark Ruffalo. He's always played just the nicest dude. And I found that this actually has a little bit of a crossover with Foxcatcher that he was in a couple years ago. Seeing as in, you're dealing with what? The DuPont fucking dynasty. So Mark Ruffalo does a pretty fantastic job in this movie. Tim Robbins behind him all the way, and of course the lovely Anne Hathaway. The screenplay was, pretty well done. So once again, overall, pretty decent legal thriller. Dark Waters. Catch it where you can find it. Somewhat limited release as of this past week. But now that we've gotten, past the holidays and whatnot, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes into a little bit wider release if it hasn't already done so. So, Dark Waters, see it where you can find it, IMDb, Fandango. And I don't think you will be disappointed as well. Booyah.
That's Charlie's Angels, goddammit.
And last, but most certainly not least on this episode's Real Rush ticket, we got the new joint from Melina Matsoukas. This joint is called Queen and Slim. Ah! Real Rush side note! Real Rush side note! By viewing Queen and Slim up at Virginia Gateway this Thanksgiving, that made this Thanksgiving the third Thanksgiving rush at the theater. But not only that, but because Thanksgiving is always on a Thursday, that made 150 Thursdays in a row at the box office for the Real Rush. Why? Because the Real Rush is the shit, and there is simply no other rush like that of the Real Rush. Back to you, J-Dub. Which is being described as a modern day Black Bonnie and Clyde. So let your boy break it down for you. So Queen and Slim, starring Daniel Kaluuya and newcomer Jodie Turner-Smith. It's two people who find themselves out on a date, a Tinder date. And if there were any more reasons why I would be like, fuck Tinder, this movie just added like 19 to that list. But yeah, fuck Tinder. But yet I digress. So Daniel Kaluuya and Jodie Turner-Smith meet up on a date. And the date, as it progresses, as the evening progresses, they end up getting pulled over by the police. A Caucasian police officer. Leading to an altercation. And the officer ends up dead. Self-defense. On the part of the couple, that is. Not on the part of the officer. Now, of course, this is very similar to a lot of situations that we do unfortunately hear about on the news, tragically, these days. So, these two, the couple, they go out on the run. Because there's a dead officer and two black people on the run from a white dead officer. Alright? So you have they're being chased by the law, but you also have the other half who see the other side of the issue that, this might just have been a self-defense. Gotta let these people go. But while all this is happening social-wise, they trying to stay one step ahead of the law the entire time and just may or may not be finding romance along the way. So Queen and Slim. I don't want to necessarily say on the fence on how I feel about this movie, but Queen and Slim seems to be able to go one of two ways. And I say it because I'm about to break this part down for you. Now, one way is it played really well as kind of like a throwback homage to like an old school blaxploitation romance feature of the 70s. Almost like, like a Thomasine and Bush ride, which at its time was described as a Black Bonnie and Clyde. So some of the way that it was filmed and some of the stylings, you could definitely tell that that director Melina Matsoukas and Lena Waithe, who wrote the screenplay, you could see where some of their influences was coming from, stylistically approaching that of Queen and Slim. Even down to like some of the dialogue and the way that it's portrayed on screen. It's not always portrayed on screen in an A to B linear fashion, as a lot of the movies from that heyday were also portrayed on screen. So if you're appreciative to that kind of aspect, then this movie is going to be right up your alley. However, on the other side of the fence, Queen and Slim seemed very scattered, and the way that I mean behind scattered is there were some points where it seemed like it couldn't figure out whether or not it was trying to be a comedy at some points or if it was trying to be a straight up drama at some points. Like, there were some funny points in the movie, but looking back on it, you can't really tell whether or not they were intentionally funny or not. aside from that, I was not a big fan of the ending. I won't spoil it for you, but we're just gonna go ahead and say that I was not a fan of the ending. Uh, and there were a lot of character decisions that just seemed unnecessary. And I know I'm the first person to sit here, look y'all dead in the eye through the lens of this camera, and say, when you go to the movies, that is the time to suspend all type of like belief and reality and shit like that. But when you're dealing with a topic that is actually going on in America these days, there were certain decisions and certain things that just happened in the movie that just made me go, no, that wouldn't happen. That wouldn't happen. This isn't like the Matrix where it's like, well, of course nobody's gonna be able to do this shit and be able to dodge bullets because that shit just realistically cannot happen. But there were some things that happened in Queen and Slim that were supposed to be on the up and up that I was just like, nah, that wouldn't happen. It wouldn't go down like that. It just wouldn't. That and Jodie Turner-Smith. Now, I'm not sure if it was the way that her character was supposed to be portrayed on the screen or whatnot, but she just came off as kind of like dry most of the movie, and her character was more or less brooding throughout most of the movie, not in a cute, like, deep, like, Janet Jackson in Poetic Justice, gonna eventually, open up and blossom kind of way, but just gruff for... There is reason behind it, but the reasoning behind it... But that's not to say that the movie did not have its enjoyable parts as well. So that is where it puts me really on the fence, Queen and Slim, exactly where to put it. So we're going to go right down the middle just to be safe on this one. Now, I did enjoy this a hell of a lot more than I did Charlie's Angels. So there is some substance to this movie. The substance, however, at certain points is just a little bit misplaced. Now, there have been some people that are saying that this is a great love story. So this could be hit or miss with the audience factor. I'm gonna go ahead and put Queen and Slim, like I said, I liked it a little bit more than the middle of the road, so I do want to hit Queen and Slim with at least like a 6. I mean, it's not, I would say that it's better than average still, and it's most certainly not unwatchable. There were just some things in the movie that I personally picked out. Other people might overlook these things. The audience in the theater last night seemed to be a little bit more engaged with it. So, once again, this could be hit or miss with most audiences. Would I give this a second viewing? Now, that's the question that I had to ask myself as I was preparing for this review to present to you. Would I give this a second viewing? Yes. I would totally give Queen and Slim a second viewing. Would I buy it on Blu-ray when it does come out? Yes. Would I pay full price for it? Probably not. I would more than likely wait for it to go on sale. And yeah, other than that, I still found it to be entertaining. It is funny at times. It's heavy at times. As you could more than likely tell from the trailer, there is going to be some heavy shit to deal with. And the way that it does approach the topic of police brutality or unwarranted police brutality, I got where it was coming from, but there were certain points at times it just seemed like it was trying to lay that message on, just drive that message home just a little bit too thick, but not too much to write it off completely as a loss. So once again, Queen and Slim, I would give this a decent, honest 6. And once again, I'm hearing reviews all over the place. So, same as with Frozen and The Fifth Element, I don't know what I'm doing with my glasses case here. Usually that's why I like to pick up my nice little wand here. Same as with Frozen 2 and The Fifth Element, let your boy know what you thought about Queen and Slim if you go to see that this weekend. I can't even accurately place like where you would want to place this on like your priority level or what have you? Like, would you only want to see this as a matinee, or is this worthy of top dollar? Again, this, I think it's all over the place with Queen and Slim. I cannot accurately put it the fuck down. Here's the way I could answer it. I paid full price for Queen and Slim last night. Did I mind paying full price for it? No, I did not mind paying full price for it. Did it meet my expectations? Not quite, but then again, I think I walked away having seen a different movie than what I was going into. It'll make sense when you see Queen and Slim. So Queen and Slim, definitely, if you're interested in it, go ahead and check it out. I'm most certainly going to recommend Queen and Slim still. And I want to hear back from y'all. So any thoughts that y'all have, Queen and Slim, good, bad, doesn't matter, holla at your boy, and we will converse on these as time goes on. Let's engage with each other. Okay? Alright. And that, my friends, is a wrap for episode 61 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Now, of course, your boy's taking a couple days off, but your boy doesn't take any time off from his bandits duties, which means that at this time of the show, as always, I like to remind y'all that our third Friday of the month, wait a minute, take the picture back down, just so I can go ahead and say, once again, our third Friday of the month bandit show coming up December 20th, 7:30 p.m. up at the Stagecoach Theater Company out in Ashburn, Virginia. Come on out. Get your last laughs out of the year. As always, we don't do any religious or any political humor or any talk of that kind. We want you to come out, have a good time, laugh, and forget about all the bullshit in the world for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Tickets are already on sale online. $12 online, $15 at the door. But of course, I recommend that you get your tickets online, so that way, if in the event that it is a sold out show, you don't want to show up on a cold ass December night to find out that you cannot get in because you did not buy your ticket online on time. Plus, if you go online to buy your tickets and use the promo code John, my name, John, all caps, you get yourself a discount, son. So where can you go online to get your third Friday of the month Stagecoach Bandits Improv Show tickets? You can find those online at stagecoachtc.com/stagecoach hash no -bandits. One more time. That is Stagecoach, T as a time, C as a coach.com/stagecoach-bandits. Promo code John, John, my fucking name, all caps. Wear that shit the fuck out. Come out, have yourselves a good time with me and my bandits. Me and my gang, we live, we ride, me and my gang. And what we gonna have coming up for you next week on episode 62? One movie? Really? Next week? We have one movie, as far as we know so far, and that one movie that we'll have reviewed for you next week will be, oh joy, watch how fast I go. It's like Arctic Dogs all over again. We'll have reviewed for you Playmobil the movie. Already getting shat on, but I did find myself chuckling at a few, like one or two parts in the trailer. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll have that review for you next week. I also want to remind y'all, or I want to let y'all know that They Shall Not Grow Old, Peter Jackson's out motherfucking standing documentary from last year, is being re-released in theaters via Fathom Events once again. It looks like the dates this year are going to be December 7th. It'll also be playing on December 17th and the 18th. You want to go to www.fathomevents.com to check out for local listings. I believe that's the correct web address. If it isn't, I will correct it myself when I go to edit this. And if you are looking for the review of it, if you want to know what your boy thought about They Shall Not Grow Old, since we saw it in season 2 last season, and we did review it on YouTube last season, that was in episode 14. Yes, sir. So, and ma'ams. So, if you are interested in They Shall Not Grow Old and want to know what your boy thought about it, episode 14, just look through my past episodes here, and you'll get a review for that. But if you've already subscribed to The Real Rush here on YouTube, then you already know about that. And if you've already subscribed to The Real Rush right here on YouTube, I want to thank you for doing so. And if you haven't subscribed to The Real Rush right here on YouTube, what the hell are you waiting for? You want to be the first in the know when your boy drops a new episode. And of course, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, any shit like that, feel free to drop and type those on into the YouTube page where you are viewing this week's episode right here, right now. It doesn't matter if it's the holiday season or not. Everybody should be spreading the word of The Real Rush, like everybody should be spreading love year round, ladies and gents. So that means go up to a motherfucker, hug him, and let him know about The Real Rush. And don't forget that The Real Rush does have replay value as well. So if there's any movie that's come out over the last year or so, and you want to know what your boy's thoughts on the movie was, all you gotta do is go up to the YouTube search bar at the top of the page here and type in quotation marks The Real Rush, followed by, outside the quotation marks, the name of the movie that you're looking for, and then boom! Instant movie review on demand for you, because your boy and The Real Rush got you covered for life, son! And as always, you can follow your boy on Instagram for my live movie check-ins as they occur. And that is at JDubChampion, hashtag The Real Rush. And for The Real Rush, ladies and gents, I am your boy J-Dub here. Thank you for tuning in to episode 61 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Remember, when you are at the movies, no need to be doing all the chitting and the chatting and looking at the cell phone and the checking of the time on them bright ass smartwatches. Keep the lips shut, put the smartphones away, put the smartwatches on dim, because I guarantee you that any conversations, any text messages, and even the time, all that shit will be waiting for you after the movie is all said and done. I guarantees it. Enjoy yourselves at the movies, y'all. Have fun, y'all. Love J-Dub. Happy holidays once again. And